It had been a little under 2 weeks since I had moved in with Michelle. Though we lived in the same house, we rarely saw each other. On unlucky days, I wouldn't see him at all. I wasn't sure if he ate in his room or our schedules were simply misaligned, but we never had any meals together. Just barge in, honestly, just start eating on his bed, honestly, get crumbs everywhere. Perhaps he was deliberately avoiding me. That has to be it. I know servant and master don't usually eat the same table, but even so, it's so lonely here. He could be a little less obvious about it. How else is he supposed to do it if he's trying to be, like, obviously avoidant? Am I really that much of a nuisance? I'm not doing anything inappropriate, am I? I'm being pleasant and sociable, aren't I? I haven't given him any reason not like me, I think. Just, what is it, the best way to put it then? Just, you're trying to push friendliness onto him. It's supposed to happen naturally, not forcing it. I can imagine if he had to voice some kind of grievance, that's the best he can come up with. You're forcing your friendliness upon me. Because honestly, there's nothing besides him just saying he doesn't like you, honestly, that I don't think there's that good of a reason, honestly. Mostly just general vibe of dislike, that's it. I hope. He'd never been very enthusiastic about my staying here. I don't think he's ever been enthusiastic in his life so far. But I hadn't been given a choice. I had been sent here by his family. Besides... No, out with the negative thoughts. No, banish thee. Gotta stay positive. Yeah, he hasn't tried to chase me out yet. I just haven't broken the ice. Well, then get an ice pick. I had to stay positive. Optimistic, even. Happy thoughts. And be myself. As long as I kept working at it, with no time, Michelle would surely come around and not be so distant. 2 years go by, same thing. I've gotta go now, so let's get to work. First, I make him supper, then ask him to have with me. You gotta be proactive when it comes to the reclusive types. Alright, here goes. Delicious soup time. Or here would go. Again, now I'm just wondering exactly, since we were going back to the cellar again. Would we have, like, what was it? No. I was gonna say a while back that, what was it? When, like, how far back would Maria's, like, writing on the floor be? I was wondering if there's a part of me that was wondering, if maybe, like, Yukimaza could have saw that, maybe, when, like, going through the house or in the cellar, honestly. Or actually, since he was more focused on attacking the townspeople that just showed up there, would the writing actually be on the floor? Now there's a part of me that's wondering if actually when the townspeople, when they're being mauled or something, like, wrote that down, but I don't think the message like that matches up, so, let's do something else. Who would even, like, try to carve on the floor anyway? But we're almost out of supplies. Well, so much for that. I can't make a luxurious meal with this. The cellar was where the non-perishable food was stored. Dried fruits, smoked meats, cheeses, and a small scattering of root vegetables. Looking at this makes me feel like a soldier holding down a castle's fortifications. Had Michelle really gone 10 years with nothing but this? I would raise the white flag long ago. Does he still, quote-unquote, not eat? Does the person who has the death touch, the exact opposite of the Midas gold touch, still need to eat? You said he hasn't left the mansion at all in those 10 years. I assume he at least goes out to get supplies, right? No, he gets them by mail order. Food stamps. Running out of food is kind of a life or death matter. I can't believe he hasn't even set foot outside even once, and... What are you blabbing on about? You're out of your room! Oh no, you overheard me, I assume you were talking to someone. Huh? Does anyone else live here, Master? I haven't seen anyone, except for us ghosts. Yeah, there's just the two of us. Alive, anyway. See, exactly, you're on the right page. There's ghosts here. You mean there are ghosts? Something of the sort. Well, there you go with the jokes. I'm not a child, you know. You're never gonna trick me like that. There are adults who believe in such things. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I suppose, but I don't really believe in ghosts or demons or curse or any of that. Well, maybe you should believe the second and third option. The church just tries to convince people they're real so they can squeeze their money out of them. I can see that too. Am I going to turn you over to the church, you blasphemer? No, no, no. I pray every day, honest. I'm a good Christian. Actually, what the area this house would be? I wonder exactly like what area of Christianity they would actually go for. This Protestantary Catholicism. There's so many different types, honestly, and some of them are in giant arguments with each other. I don't particularly care either way. I'm returning my chambers. And why you came down here? You wanted to try to eat one of the goddamn like giant turnips by yourself without any seasoning or flavoring? Okay. Well, there's the box over there. Just chow down like a goddamn rabbit. Already? You didn't come down for food? I only came down because I heard voices. I heard the voices through the pipes. I got spooked. Wait, a moment. Please, just wait a moment. What? Our stores here are almost empty. What do you normally do when you need more food? I happily accompany you on a trip to the market. Already? That was fast. There are two of us. I really don't eat that much, do I? In the dim light, it's difficult to make out Michelle's expression, but I thought I could see a tinge of annoyance on his face. God damn it, I have to pretend to actually eat food in front of her, god damn it. What'd you ground yourself? You said you wanted to get closer to him. Oh, is that a parsnip? Michelle was holding a tangled ball of roots. The reason I asked was because the parsnip looked like it was on the verge of total decomposition. See, there's still food. Eat this decaying fruit. He didn't hand it to me. But wait, you want me to eat that? It's clearly seen better days. I don't think it has. This has been in the cellar. The daylight hasn't struck it. It's wilting away underneath the darkness. You're gonna get sick. Or you tell me you can survive on rotten vegetables. No, he's saying you should eat that. That's the bigger insult here. Of course I won't eat it. I just figure you're hardy enough to survive. What do you think I am? I don't know. Are rabbits that good at eating rotten food? I don't think I've ever heard it before, so I don't think that comparison lands. No, he's definitely a jerk. I don't think there's any beef jerky here, sorry. I know that the resulting diarrhea might reduce your appetite. You're kidding, right? Can't be serious. Well, anyway, we should bury that outside. Wait, does that actually help regain its, does it stop its decomposition, I guess, actually? Does it actually get better like that, roots? Huh. Then we can go purchase fresh supplies. Oh, it's mostly just they make new roots, honestly, out of the decaying one. I told you don't go outside. As I said before, I'm a vampire. Then how do you... Huh? A visitor? Who could it be? Perfect timing. You're a servant. Make yourself useful and go retrieve the package. Okay, aye, Captain, salute. If it's not delivery, but a wanderer, chase them off. Well, package? Master? You could put the context clues together, okay? Hold on a second. What are you talking about? Food delivery. There's more turnips to be had. And he's gone. What kind of delivery is he expecting here? Michelle stood there, unmoving, veiled in shadow. He still went upstairs, honestly, to wait outside the door. He glanced over at me, then threw his gaze to the front door. At his command, I raised the bar, pulling open the door. Still bar shut with a wood plank. After nearly 2 weeks inside, the light from the setting sun almost blinded me. The road went white, my head pounding. Ah, sweet, sweet vitamin D. After a few moments of intense blinking, my eyes acclimated to themselves to the evening sunlight. Evening? There was no one outside, only a crate easily large enough to fit a child. Oh, is this the package? Master? I turned back to face Michelle, but he wouldn't meet my eyes. Though it seemed more like he was avoiding looking at the light than at me. Huh, that's actually just thinking about that the fake story of this door, honestly, like, made a point that, when she looked back inside, honestly, like, he would just, like, she couldn't even see him anymore. He would just veil in the darkness of the house. It definitely, like, painted a more picture of, like, artificial darkness covering and veiling all sight, honestly. Honestly, that definitely seems in line with, like, the, I guess, subtle supernatural elements in the rest of the doors, but, huh. Metric says not in the real story now. He's starting to seem more and more like a vampire. Did you not get this already? He only eats red things. That's why we need red apples. He needs to suck the red out of them. Don't know if that would get rid of the juiciness out of a normal apple. I'm just wondering what a white apple even looks like and tastes like now. God damn it. Not that I believe in vampires, of course. Then what do you believe in? Do you believe in ghosts? Ghouls? Giblins? Regardless, I pray there's nothing bad in here. Oh, that's heavy. But, Master, could I get some help? No. Gee, thanks. He just tosses over a crowbar and a rope, honestly. There, use that. Just plunks onto her head. Just a bonk. I am a servant, admittedly, but this is a lot to ask of just one girl. A little help would sure be nice. Once inside, close and bar the door. He said dispassionately, his head still turned toward the darkness, further down the hallways. As you wish, Master. It took all day to push the box through the 10 inches into the doorway. Once the door was shut, I found myself sucked back into the world darkness. Literally sucked back in. Or just like vacuum sucked all the way back into the door. It hadn't even been 2 weeks, but the lack of light was beginning to become my normal. The outside world growing farther and farther away. Being holed up in here is definitely not good for me. I should go for a walk sometime. Maybe plant some flowers or vegetables. Yeah, I like the idea. Maybe I can grow that old tangle of roots into some fresh parsnip. So, like, if thinking turns the parallelism, then it definitely goes into she goes outside to the garden, where he shows up, and that's where he talks about if he has a deadly touch or not, or like, I'm wondering if honestly they like decide to keep like when the old door was like the false door was made, like they mostly just latched on the fact they didn't touch each other for as much as possible. And just change it around to have that death touch, honestly? To, like, make that sort of tragedy? Or, Well, definitely, like, if they have a more, I'm not gonna say toxic, but more, I guess, mean-spirited relationship starting at first, and it gets worse and worse, I guess, later on. I guess, like, having the death touch should just be, like, be the reason why he just did not want to be around the people. And then did not like try to avoid her as much as possible. Probably be an easier pill to swallow because it's beyond even their control. But if it was always their choice in the beginning, then like I just didn't want to see you. I didn't want to talk to you. I didn't actually want to love you or anything like that. The death touch would probably be a bit more easy to accept. If we're still gonna idea that the maid Giselle honestly create that whole entire door, honestly. Which opens a whole heaps of questions, honestly, that she's able to make and present a false door. Because then that technically means she could have been faking the other doors. What else do we have to plant? It'd be great if there were some flower seeds. What are you doing? Open the box. Now. Crowbar. Bonk. As you wish, Master. Oh, there's food inside. And wood. The crate's made of wood. In the box is a burlap sack filled with berries, root vegetables, and smoked meats. as well as assortment of bread, fruits, and wine. Where's the cheese? Where's the cheese? Aside from the fruit and bread, everything else is the same as what Michelle kept in the cellar. But the cheese isn't there. No. Oh. And buried beneath the burlap sack was a single book. I thought I was so waiting for a cheese book or something. 1 book a month. He really hasn't gone outside in 10 years. Well, is the book gripping stuff? Is it a thriller or something? It appears you begin to grasp situation. Finally. Yeah. But why? This delivered by someone from your house, Master, wasn't it? A servant, I assume. Why would they leave without saying anything? No one wants to talk to a cursed man. In the past, they would occasionally check in on me, but it hasn't happened recently. They think you're cursed? No, I am cursed. It'd actually be interesting if the death touch was actually wasn't a thing, but he's cursed for a different reason. Reminds me of some people just saying a character trope they like was just someone is very powerful. They look like this tall, I guess, even muscular person, but they're completely dangerous for this complete opposite thing. You see that guy right there, the guy with the physique of a sumo wrestler? No, he's actually the most formidable lawyer in all the land. Just completely powerful for a completely different reason. Right. You don't believe in curses. We didn't talk about that too much, honestly. And come up with your own explanation. An excuse for them to want to stay away from me. That, for example, I killed someone, or maybe that I'm insane. Oh, wow, I did not even notice, wow. I can't even begin to describe that expression on his face is, actually. I can't tell if he's morbidly laughing, or he's just grimacing. I can't tell, maybe a combination of both. It's probably the most emotion we've seen him have so far. I couldn't. Regardless, I am not normal. Bring the food down to the cellar. The book to the library. You're of course free to refuse and run back up to the woods. I'll do it. Alright. They can take care of that. But where do you put the crate? Do you use the wood for fire or anything? Hey. What is it? I just noticed this thing else in here. Is it cheese? Please? Cheese? Certain cloth. What could it be? Oh, a painting! Oh, that's what that painting guy was talking about. Wait, that artist. Yeah. Huh. Would it be the same thing as would it be the same painter as Mel and Nellie's, I guess, well, not really their dad, but I guess actually what would that be called? It's someone who's not related to the family. Well, I'm trying to think of in terms of family tree stuff, what that'd be. They're not blood related, obviously, but be uncle step-in-law? I don't know. Step-uncle? I don't even know how to begin to describe it because, I guess the dad of, the white-haired girl, honestly, and, the white-haired girl's, half siblings with Mel and Nellie, so... Huh, I never even considered that before. Ooh, a painting! Free to hang up somewhere in the house, I presume. More emotion. It's so dark I can't see very well, but I'm sure it's... Don't touch that! What? Michelle, who had kept his distance from me until that point, suddenly marched over and ripped the painting from my grasp. Master? His face was twisted into a look I'd never seen him make before. Was it indignation? Disgust? Hatred? Panic? Combination. So, the paintings themselves, he wasn't expecting it, but he knows what they are. I couldn't tell, but there was more than enough negative pressure to cause him to flinch back. Is that painting perhaps something important? A landscape painting. He muttered under his breath, the tension melting away from his face. I was just looking at his blank, usual, impenetrable expression. But his eyes are still fixated in the picture, staring at it unblinkingly. I'm now wondering if there was a message in that one painting that Nellium scratched at. The same painter decided to leave messages underneath his other paintings too? Why a landscape painting? Some kind of passive-aggressive message? It's not of anywhere nearby. Did they travel somewhere? Well, if it's not of that girl, so that's an improvement. That girl? Master? Oh, you're still here. I told you to move the crate. Still here? Of course I'm still here. Who do you think you asked to take care of the package? What's with you? Just running over and snatching the painting from me. You scared me. Could you maybe explain yourself? What's so special with that painting? I don't believe it's any of your business. None of my... Of course it is! You took it out of my hands like I was some kind of thief! I have a right to know what that was all about, and maybe an apology while you're at it. You told me to open the box, so I did. Then all of a sudden you're angry. We are not equals. Do not mistake yourself, my friend. You have a right to know. You have no such thing. You don't want to be rude about it. I'll say it again. Leave if you don't like it here. I never asked for you to be here. That was your wish. My wish? Are you out of your mind? I never asked for this. I never wished for it. Who in the right mind who would want to be sent to some house in the middle of nowhere? Who'd ever want to go through that? No. Calm down, Giselle. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts. You can't get angry. You're right. That is what I wanted. I never wanted to make you mad, or for us to argue like this. I just want to get to know you better. To get closer to you. I mean, it would make things smoother for the both of us. It will make living together more enjoyable for us. Listen carefully. This is very important for you to understand. Do not try to involve yourself with me. Do not go probing around for information. If you can't do that, leave. I completely shut out. The glare he was giving me and the standoffish aura he was emanating were reflected in his tone of voice. Why? Why did he try to push me away like that? Now back to his point of view. Don't know if I don't think it's gonna show what he thinks the painting is that quickly, but the painting must be definitely important if it was completely written out of the full store too. Has to be very important. At the very least, it leads to a lot of bad memories. It seemed Giselle really didn't know much about me. Despite being sent here from my house, she was unaware of the monthly deliveries, as well as the reason why I lived in the mansion all by myself. Why, though, would they have not told her anything? Why had she been sent here left completely in the dark? Giselle looked up at me, fear and bewilderment in her eyes, though I thought I could see a glint of suspicion beneath it all. Like her true feelings were bubbling to the surface. Everyone had darkness in them they kept hidden. No one was exactly who they appeared to be. She was undoubtedly thinking, I'm not here because I want to be. I knew from the moment I first saw her that her bubbly, sweet effect was all facade. And she thought I was dense enough to not realize. She was no different than anyone else. What I didn't understand, though, was why she refused to leave no matter how hard I pushed. What was she hiding beneath that innocent-looking face? What was she thinking? Well, you certainly didn't get a memo either, so I'm like, you're both left in the dark. Yay! What is she carrying on her shoulders? Well, I don't know what that kind of clothing is called, but that dress. Everyone is hiding something, deceiving those around them. I'm gonna figure out what she really was. What, you're planning to find out she's also a vampire or something? May I ask you something? Yes? The day you arrived, you said you made a teeny tiny mistake while working in my family's house. Tell me about that. What did you do with the Bollinger estate? So, just sell this. You're time to put your foot down and just say, why should I tell you that if you're not gonna tell me anything about yourself? In that moment, brief though it was, her disposition wavered. Fear? Terror? No, perhaps anger? I couldn't tell. Nevertheless, it was abundantly clear that it was a subject she had no interest in me breaching, and so she had borne her fangs. The smile she donned now was visibly forced. It's nothing you need to concern yourself with, Master. I promise it was an insignificant little thing. You just accidentally knocked over a whole entire pitcher of salt. She couldn't say. Why couldn't she tell me? Huh, I wonder. What had she done there? What does this woman know about that house? What does she know about me? I will say it's actually an interesting way to swap back and forth here, honestly, because honestly it's kind of it's actually both a very organic but also an organic way to hide information and keep it away for a bit longer. Like if we were in her perspective, obviously the topic of reason why there would be a breach a bit, and she would think about it. But it's almost kind of better that they decide to focus on his thoughts when that conversation comes up too. That's actually kind of cool. They're still dancing around why he is here yet, but probably either the parallel, I guess, honestly, of when that idea will come up, maybe in the garden, or sometime after that. What was concealed beneath that smile of hers? I don't know, some teeth, a mouth? I am the master of this house, and you are a servant, and still you refuse to tell me. Like I said, it's nothing. There's no reason to bother you about it. With a mere servant's personal blunders, Master. What are you hiding? I don't know. What are you hiding? I'm not hiding anything. Then you should be able to tell me exactly what you did at the Bollinger estate. Like I said, tell me. Tell me. You won't tell me a thing about yourself, and yet you demand others tell you about themselves. Here you are, practically threatening me. Demanding I tell you something I don't want to talk about. And yet you still haven't told me anything about that painting. Oh, so I was right. You do have something to hide. How many times must I repeat myself? We are not equals. I don't care if it's insignificant or something you don't want to talk about. What? I'm ordering you to tell me. A trifling blunder would not get someone to live with a cursed man in a house spoken of so unfavorably. Whatever she had done to the Bollinger estate, that had something to do with why she was here. If she truly hadn't done anything, then she had something to gain from this place. Or possibly from me. What do you mean gain from this, you fucking narcissist or whatever? What, you think you keep secret money in here or whatever? You somehow sell off your books, which you never even, you never even keep off while you're trying to start an entire collection and wait around and sell all your stuff, honestly, and just get money that way? While you put some money into the local lottery in the town nearby and, one big? What do you mean she has something that came from you? If that was the case, I had to get her to talk. Make me. Giselle's eyes were open wide. I recognized the look she was giving me. I knew very well what that gaze meant. Your abomination! It was the same as them. Fear, contempt, revulsion, repulsion. I wonder why she's thinking that right now. The way she acted, the way she spoke. It's exactly the same. You're no different. Well, I mean, you kind of pushed her. I made her uncomfortable. I made her afraid. She thought I was unpleasant. Huh, I wonder what caused that. She thought I was despicable. She thought I was an abomination. In a frenzy, I grabbed her by the shoulders. Dead now. clamping down far more powerfully than I meant to. Ow! Stop! Her face contoured in pain morphed into someone else's. Who was it directing my anger at? Yay, projection! Where was this rage being aimed at? Who are you calling an abomination? What? I didn't say anything. What? Tell me, who? The black fervor bubbling up within me knew no end. Feels like this is another parallel to the second door too. Parallels over the place. Oh god, is this gonna make its way into the story too? Oh god. The girl, she ridiculed me. She denied my identity with her glare. I couldn't escape from that phantom, that reality. What are... I never called you a... No, get away from me! Get your hands off me! Still scream echoed in the entrance hall, rattling my eardrums. She frantically used my arms aside, and I came back to my senses. She was standing a little ways away, breathing heavily, arms wrapped tight around her body, glowering at me, showing her opposition to my touching her. Enlightening. No. You startled me, that's all. Some servant you are, telling your master to touch you. Right. I have you know. I'm allergic to people. My next best thought is honestly like, someone, like if she was averse to touch, honestly, and the reason why she was pushed away. To hear, the worst case scenario that comes to my mind is, someone forced themselves on her. It's a very, unique condition, I hear. I mean, can you believe that? See, you know how some people get all red and itchy when they touch a dog or a cat? It's that, except for people, so... I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I beg your forgiveness. Why don't you speak your mind? What? This is what's going through your mind right now? I have nothing to apologize for. No, that's not... I can somewhat sympathize with your plight, being made to apologize even though you're hurting. I raised my hand against you first, after all. And you forgive me. Sympathy does not equate to forgiveness. Now, you take care of the package. I'm heading back to my chambers. What is it? You're not gonna make me leave after what I just did? No, I'm not. For it would seem I can make you leave on your own whenever I so please. Besides, I had to learn what she had done. It would be exceedingly difficult to get the story from her own mouth, which left me with one option. To write a letter to my mother, as much as the very thought revolted me. Yay, family gossip. Riveting. Several days had passed since the package arrived. The end of my third week living in the mansion was drawing near. Michelle wasn't getting any friendlier either. She needed to either snob or bluntly dismiss me whenever we crossed paths. It's gonna be quite a bit if this turns into a love story. It'd be a tipping over, honestly, at that point. Huh. I wonder if this is like a sort of thing of like, well, the next thought of like trying to think of a parallel for the door 3 just be like that, like in I guess how, what was it, in Jacopo's relationship with the white-haired girl was first unfriendly, then stood over to him, they kind of both had veiled admiration and love towards each other, but, don't think it's quite what it's going for anyway. It's mostly they're both trying to put up a facade to be friendly. At the very least, she's trying her best to be friendly, honestly. And if it actually does turn to it, I guess, a love story by the end, there has to be at least a fucking time jump, or at least when they actually, the disposition actually towards each other change a lot, honestly. God damn it. I didn't understand why he acted that way around me. But there was little point asking when he seemed to think there was little point talking to me at all. Although at first I had been sure there was some way to get him to warm up to me. The more time I spent at the mansion, the more my willpower began to feel like it was at its breaking point. I could tell myself to stay positive until I was blue in the face, but it can only work for so long. The one pretty place in the whole house. I'm glad he hasn't covered it back up. Blue moonlight shone quietly through the stained glass window, vainly illuminating some of the room. I hadn't noticed till now. The room with the stained glass window appeared to be modeled after a chapel. Rows of pews faced the window, below which sat what used to be a pulpit. There was very little left of it, though, and an awkward length of silver was mounted to the pulpit's front face. What was, I assumed, formerly a cross. Upon further reflection, rather than facing the window, the pews seemed to be pointed at the pulpit, or perhaps the cross hanging on it. I wasn't sure why there would be a chapel in a mansion, but I had no way to ask about it. Wait, did I misread that, Hans? Like, what was it from that said, of the cross? Did it say it was gone? I want to make sure I actually read that right. Length silver with formerly a cross. Very little of it, though. So the cross is taken off. He really is a vampire. The holy symbol repulses him. He is the demonic curse. For a house of this size, a statue of Christ and the Virgin Mary seems more appropriate. It's a very well made chapel, at any rate. I doubted Michel had built it for himself. There would be no reason for him to cover the window if that were the case. Nor had I ever seen him come to pray. He doesn't seem like the one to believe in God. God. I'm not even sure if God really existed, then surely the world would be a much more pleasant, peaceful place. Yeah, I've had those thoughts before. No unfair disparities in money or power. No senseless misfortune. I certainly wouldn't have found myself here either. But God was evidently quite fond of giving mankind trials, so he would probably tell me with a straight face that this was one too. Or perhaps we simply had a false impression of him. That's, I remember having those kind of thoughts too. And he actually didn't give us anything. Or I guess another interpretation, honestly, just mankind's created and just plopped down here and he has no further involvement, just is only just watching. If we're getting into this topic. He merely sat back and watched from somewhere far, far away. Yeah. It wasn't his job to bring peace to the world or ensure laws were fair. That was all mankind's responsibility. What is God? What are angels? I have no idea. Maybe the Bible has answers. Why should I pray to someone so far away? Excuse me. How do I know my prayer's even getting there? But still. It's not like I have any other options. Don't you worry. It'll all work out, I promise. I already know where I'm gonna work. It's a really prominent noble house, way out of reach of some small-time merchants like us. You never know. This could be my big break. Oh, I'm just kidding. Oh, don't look so worried. I'll be just fine. Honestly. I'll make enough money for us to get back into our feet. Oh, for goodness sake, I can handle it. Leave everything to me. You just wait. I'll make our family into something you can be proud of. It'll be fine. Yeah. Say bye to Mom for me. I probably won't be home for a while. A long while. What? You're afraid I'm gonna make some careless mistake? I'm not the airheaded. I can be a refined and elegant young lady. Those nobles won't even know what to believe anymore. If you don't believe me, how'd I give you a little taste? How are you doing this fine morning, master? Your morning beverage is ready, prepared with the utmost of care. See, How about that? Not bad, huh? But you really think it sounded forced? It didn't sound organic. I was the daughter of a merchant who ran a shop on the capital's main street. My father passed away in a plague, so just me, my mother, and my older sister. It would be a lie to say business was doing well. We struggled to squeak by day to day after taxes. But we couldn't just abandon the shop and leave the capital either. So we tried to make the best of what we were able to take in between the three of us. Then my sister fell in love with a moderately well-off aristocrat. Is this someone, is this literally taking place right at the same time as Door 2? Oh my god. Both my mom and I were supportive of her in her desire to marry, but their union almost fell apart because she was not suitable for him. Merchants were hardly the lowest classed. What we lacked instead was wealth. Oh. We needed another source of money, beyond what the shop took in. If only we had money, my sister could get married. If only we had money, my mom wouldn't have to work so hard. You know, honestly, well, never mind, I actually just realized, like, Pauline's, dad was still there. When, we didn't see anything hiding her hair, honestly, of, Giselle, so never mind, that's not gonna work either. God damn it, there goes that idea out the window. If only I had money. It was then that someone from the distinguished Bollinger estate approached me. He said they were in need of Abigails and would love to have me. He said if I agreed to work for them, the Bollinger estate would take care of my family. Generally speaking, noble houses took Abigails from other lower-ranked noble houses. So I think it for someone of my status to receive such an offer. So I took it as a once-in-a-lifetime chance and accepted the offer. And look what it's got us. I just pray that nothing bad happens to my sister. And that mom is getting enough money to live comfortably. Actually, it'd be a whole different thing of, like, if all the other doors are, like, sort of lies in their own sense, and, like, and this is the only true one, and this makes connections to all the rest of them, then, oh my god, actually. And how the mom is getting into money to live comfortably. That's all I can do here. They're nobility. They have plenty of money. Enough to spare some. Oh. The light shining through the stained glass window began to grow murky, fade into blackness. It felt like a message from on high, that no, my prayers would not be answered. The bluish white illumination shining down upon me disappeared, as clouds blocked the moon. Oh, come on. You don't even want to look at a sullied woman like me. Oh, for heaven's sake. I never asked to end up like this. Their nobility. They have plenty of money. Enough to spare some. Oh, come on. I don't even want to look at a sullied woman like me. Oh, for heaven's sake. Never asked to end up like this. Giselle was sitting on one of the pews in the room with a stained glass window. Just looking at her, you might have thought she was offering a prayer. The words coming from her mouth were anything but prayerful. They were filled with resentment. They have plenty of money, a sullied woman. And then, I never asked to end up like this. So this was beneath that facade. Most likely money is what she's after. All I need to do now is confirm my suspicions with them. Just what awful secrets will uncover. I gave Giselle, sitting in the pew with her head drooped, a cursory glance before leaving the chapel. I had somewhere else to be. You're just waiting for that letter to come out. Oh, we're here in the garden. Yay. Well, we already know, like, at this point that unless he's wearing gloves, then the death touch is not a thing, so. The bitterly cold outside air felt like dozens of needles flowing into my lungs. It had been so long since I stepped out beyond the mansion's walls. A thick mist canopied the night sky, blocking out the moonlight. Naturally, the heavens did not rejoice in my leaving the house. It had been 10 years since I had seen the mansion from the outside, and it hadn't changed one bit. A gloomy scar upon the earth, shrouded in darkness. Hardly the kind of place someone would enthusiastically approach. Nevertheless, it was better than that house. Hoot, owl, hoot hoot. Okay? The first thought was like the shack from door 3, but like that's way in the future, centuries almost. Yes? Who is it? Michelle. What? Michelle Bollinger? Just one moment. I'll be right there. Come in. It's a humble abode. Make yourself at home. Is that a flashback? Okay, yes, it's a flashback. This is too colorful, honestly. I must say this is rather unexpected. Just one more and I would have been up there in a heartbeat. And how does this didn't do that? I'm regrettably fresh out of carrier pigeons. Well, this is because you don't take care of them. You don't breed them properly. Right, yes. My apologies. This man, living in a small cottage not far from the mansion, had been hired by the Bollinger family. His job? To watch over me. Oh, he just nearby. But does he, like, he only just gives a package over and nothing else. That said, we never actually interacted. He was tasked with keeping track of whether I was still alive and whether I remained in the mansion. The monthly package from my family is delivered to him, which he then passed on to me. It's delivered to this house, then he moves all the way to that mansion. It's a weird, intermediary thing. It was insipidly convoluted. It wasn't indicative of how much they wanted to avoid anyone learning about me. Well then, what can I do for you? The manservant was visibly rattled. Afraid, too. Not because of the difference in our social ranks. I had a pretty good idea of what he'd been told about me. He was afraid of me. Or more specifically, my curse. People fear of which they cannot comprehend. Not just children. Adults as well. What about teenagers? They between. They fear demons, witches, and curses. Anything impure or not of this world. But I had long since forgotten used to being viewed as such. Didn't sadden me. Didn't disappoint me. Didn't pain me. Just felt numb. Some things are too foolish to concern yourself over. Though it certainly doesn't make me feel good either. I was on some level annoyed. That one's appearance in the mansion had created ripples in my once tranquil life. So before I got into the real reason for my visit, I decided to take out a bit of my frustration. I was gonna say, small talk? No, you're definitely not that kind of person. Raise your head, there's no need to be afraid. I don't know what you've been told, but I promise I don't bite. How rude of me. You're right, my sincerest apologies. Your job is to keep watch over me. The mere sight of me as you're trembling, what will you do if I try to run? I had a little trouble escaping. That would be quite unfortunate. But would I ever tell your mother? I'm not sure that would end well at all. You could lose everything you've been paid so far. In fact, it might be lucky you get out with your life. Surely your mother would not. You are aware of who you're dealing with, right? A single touch is enough to give you bad luck for the rest of your life. Michelle, the cursingest son of the Bollinger family, who made a pact with the devil. Sick. I don't need a blade take your life. You won't even make it back to report anything. Have mercy, Lord Michelle. Please don't leave the mansion. Please spare me. Only joking. Oh shit, sorry. I don't have the power to kill by way of curse. God damn it. You could have spoken some magic curse words, though. You could have had so much power. No. I don't have the power to kill by way of curse. The man fell silent. The look in his face said, "I don't believe you." "You are cursed, though, aren't you?" Maybe even find your honesty, he was not cursed at all, but everyone just thinks he is. When someone's got an idea planned in their head, it's nigh impossible to get rid of it. I am so cursed that anyone can see it. Yay, information hazards. Man, looking forward to that game so much. They need to be locked away in a dark mansion. I'm here because I had a question for you. Not to warn you that I plan to run away. A question? I thought you would come here to deliver a letter. A question? For me? Yes. Approximately 3 weeks ago, a black-haired woman came to the mansion. Tell me what you know about her. I was told there would be an Abigail coming, but that's all. I don't know anything else about her. I swear that's all I know. I haven't been told anything else. I believe you. Never thought they would tell you anything. Right. He had been hired to observe me. That's all he was. A hired hand. He won't be privy to the Bollinger family's internal affairs. Take this. A letter? I need you to deliver it to my mother. You could have just left it in the box in this month's package and I would have collected it when I dropped off the next one. I am in urgent need of this information. Will you do this for me? Yes, why yes, absolutely. I'll fetch a delivery boy tomorrow morning. Much appreciated. Good night. You too. Do take care. The only other social interaction he has in a long time, then. Lord Michelle? Yes? Is it true that you don't have... Would you like me to sew your mouth shut so you can never open it again? Not at all. My sincerest apologies, Lord Michelle. That was horribly disrespectful of me. Good night. And he just deadbolts the door behind him. Cursed I most certainly am. It mostly just sounds like you're just reveling in the idea that you're cursed, honestly, at this point. It just feels like you're living in edgy times, honestly. Just stay in an edgy life, honestly. I'm here by solitude, my own choice. The heartache. The pain. Mother's response arrived just 10 days later. The delivery boy must have pushed his horse quite hard. It was almost exactly a month after Giselle had moved in. Oh boy, what does the letter say? And shortly thereafter, on a bone-chilling night, everything came crashing down. The rift between us grew deeper, and the wall between us impossibly high. When I lay bare, the scars in her chest, and mercilessly plunged my knife into them. Oh, so the letter was that bad. Okay, then Jesus. Jesus Christ. So if we're taking that into consideration, then so while everything else is like a failed like love story, then this is not love at all. This is how fucking dare you do this to my loved ones? That's a different kind of love story right there. How did we get to this point? I hate everything. My spirits are getting darker and darker, like they were slowly sinking into a deep morass. Never heard of that word before. Morass. Morass. Has a nice ring to it. I had been in the mansion for a month, and every day since felt twice as long as it should have. I had been optimistic, at first. I'd even had a little hope that me and Michelle could get along together. But it hadn't taken long for the hope to be shattered, and the cheer locked away inside me. We lived in the same house, but we never spoke anymore. On the few occasions we did cross paths, he just gave me a cold stare and nothing more. Scorn and suspicion in his eyes. Whenever he looked at me like that, it felt as though my throat was being constricted, like I was deep underwater and running out of air. My very presence in the world was a crime. I never could have imagined just how agonizing constant rejection was. I started despising others, despising myself, despising the world itself. convinced there was no one who could set me free. I consider running away from everything, rather than live like this another day. But I knew it had done so long ago if that were actually an option. They found out I had fled, that I had acted outside their wishes. My mom and sister would pay. I had succeeded in allowing my sister to get married and my mom to live comfortably. I had given them happiness. Well, at least there's that. I couldn't take that away from them again. Not after what I had to go through to do it. No, cut that out. Getting way too depressing, Giselle. Pull yourself together, that's not who you are. Be positive. The negativity didn't only come from my interactions with Michelle either. I'm just wondering exactly how bad that teeny tiny oopsie doopsie was. That was something that was forced upon her, but like, no doubt cast upon that too now. They did also mention before, like, it was almost like a prison for her, I guess, in a sense. I guess not a conventional one. But I don't know if that means they tried covering up what she did. Because of, like, noble family politics, or literally, they chose her as scapegoat, honestly. And decided to keep her away so no one can find out more about it, or, like, know the truth, honestly. But she does seem shaken about what's going on, but, From the sound of it and how she's acting, honestly, and her thoughts, honestly, doesn't seem like she's centering too much of, like, how she really feels. Like, she's showing up that much resentment, but the sound of it, she doesn't feel resentment towards, like, the family itself, honestly. It's mostly she feels resented for her position, so maybe what she did, or what happened around her, honestly, was actually an accident. And she can't really blame anyone for it. That's what comes to me, honestly, how she talks about it. At the very least, talks around it. No, there seemed to be some kind of terrible presence within the mansion that twisted people's hearts. The mansion was, in fact, a bit of a local legend, which I had been informed about before being sent here. People claimed it was cursed, and that an evil witch had lived in it for many, many years. Michelle joked that he was the witch, but I didn't believe him. I'm not usually one to believe in magic or curses at all. Being here so long, I can't help but wonder... Anyway, things can't go on like this. If I were to remain in this house, the situation needs to improve. A lot. I was going to lose my mind if things kept up as they were. I was ready to give up once, but I'm not going to try closing the distance between us again. There still is that scene that we saw when looking around the house during the intermediary between the doors, and we saw, like, her silhouette in the bedroom, and she was talking about how she was fine, like, of who we're in the role as, the POV as, and she was fine getting to know them for a long time, honestly, so, If I could get him to open up even the tiniest bit, then maybe that would make living here a little easier. I wasn't going to try to make us best friends or anything, BFFs, friendship bracelets. Just repair a relationship, and not that being around each other wasn't torturous. I've got my work cut out for me. How do I even begin that conversation? Heck, what is that conversation going to be about? Maybe I should hold off. Do another day. No. I made up my mind to do this, so I should just get to it quickly. The longer I wait, the worse things are gonna get. And eventually there won't be any fixing anything. We need to talk. We need to be in the same room for more than 10 seconds, and we need to get to know each other. He needs to know. There's another reason I have something to hide. Okay. Let's do this. Just Bart is right into his bed chambers, and he's reading that note. Reading that letter. Yay. I made my way to Michelle's chambers, which she had told me to stay away from. My stride was slow and ponderous, but at the very least, it made my best to keep some semblance of a smile on my face. Ah, this is one time where I'd really like to have someone get me a little nudge. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay. Pardon, Master? There's something to talk to you about. Master? I guess he's not here. The door wasn't locked, I just had a barge anyway. As was the rest of the house, his room was shrouded in darkness. The only light came from the candle in my hand. Master? Are you there, Master? I guess I missed him. It's probably best we don't stick around for so long. He's already gotten a less than a stellar impression of me. I don't want to imagine what would happen if he thinks I've been snooping around through his room. Yeah, I should get out of here. I spun around my heels, taking a step to the door, when I caught sight of an object dropped in a black sheet. I knew I had to get out of there as quickly as possible, but I was intrigued by the object. Something he kept hidden in a room I was forbidden to enter. Maybe it was a clue to discovering Michelle's secrets. I reached my hand down toward the object, knowing good and well I shouldn't. Was it because I wanted to learn more about him? Was it because I wanted to tear down the veil he hid behind? Or was it the whispers of the witch? Oh boy. Oh hi, it's the painting. Oh, what do we have here? I pulled out the sheet, revealing a framed painting of what appeared to be a noblewoman with porcelain white skin. What stood out about her, though, was the woman's hair was as pale as her skin. White-haired! And then... Huh. Interesting shading for that shape on her face, honestly, the hair. I'm just having a hard time describing what the shape, honestly, reminds me of. It kind of reminds me of something like, I guess, like, bird, honestly, with two legs, honestly? That's close as I could think of, honestly, to describe the shape, honestly. Don't know if that means it's unfinished, or it's meant to be some sort of, like a giant hole in the painting, like a cracked mirror. That kind of semblance. What? I noticed something else. Wide gashes ravaged the canvas. Oh, that's what so that's gashes he made in the painting itself. Does that mean, like, well, no, it's only just on the face, honestly. I thought the shadows, like, around the collar of, her clothes, honestly, in the painting would also be cuts. But, like, that seems too purposeful to be just random cuts. Damaging her face beyond repair. What the? I imagine it once been a painting of a beautiful woman, but there was hardly a trace of that left. The only feeling inspired anymore was a deep chill. This damage was not accidental. It was deliberate, angry. The contempt emanating from within the frame was stifling. Thick, suffocating blackness seeped into me. Why would anyone... She was surely a most beautiful woman. Angelic, even. A storm of questions assaulted me. Who was she? Why had her face been carved up? Why had the painting been covered? What had happened? Who could have... There's only one person that could have done this. The package guy. No. Michelle, why on earth... You saw it, didn't you? You saw the painting, didn't you? You entered my room without permission, and you saw the painting, didn't you? Angelic, you say? There's nothing angelic about the damned woman. I was going to make some excuse, but nothing would come out of my mouth. All I could do was tremble. Hi. Oh, Jesus Christ. Hi. Why did you enter my chambers? Miss... What were you looking for? Answer me. My mouth went open properly. I couldn't make my voice come out. It wasn't like I was even in my own body anymore. The wisps of air that were drawn into my lungs were expelled as hoarse gasps. My breaths were shallow and rapid. I was inhaling, but I wasn't getting any air. I was terrified. Terrified. Terrified, terrified, terrified. Of his eyes, of his voice, of his feelings, the knife he was holding up to me, the terrible past I was chained to, the man's voice, the man's very flesh, terrified me. Wait, he has red eyes, he has white hair. And he calls that painting demonic. And is he trans? What are we trying to find, and what are we planning to do with it? Answer me. Nothing you refuse to tell me, then. No, I'm trying. Now this can my mouth, though. Everything's so bright. I can't catch my breath. I can't breathe. That's fine, though. You don't have to tell me. I have a pretty good idea. Idea? What do you mean? Money's what brought you to the Bollinger estate. That's what brought you to me, too. There are countless people who would let us see the house fall. I know a family fears nothing more than disrepute. You were, I presume, approached by someone scheming the Bollinger's downfall. No! It just so happens, the Bollingers have a very unfortunate secret, and they are quite desperate to keep in their wraps. Me. Some suspect I might still be alive, so they sent you to dig up more information about me. My very existence threatens to tear down that house. That explains the curse so much, honestly, in that aspect, actually. The curse being a son of the Bollinger family. Michelle made a pact with the devil, who's supposed to be dead but is very much alive. Well, I guess it's not that, but, like, I could definitely see that metaphorically wise, honestly. You sweet-talked your way into the house and information about me and my present situation. You made to trade information for money. I bet whoever it was put quite a handsome price on the two. Or maybe the one plotting to ruin the Bollinger family is you. No! No, that's not true! Then enlighten me. Please, hear me out. I didn't know anything about you. I wasn't sniffing around or trying to bring you harm anyway. And tell me, if that's not the reason you earned your way into the Bollinger estate, that's not what you're doing here, and tell me what is. Tell me why you came to this mansion. You want me to tell you about that? Wait, that's asking way too much. Tell me. Oh boy, I don't know, he's just threatening, honestly, at this point. I have no idea. I swear I haven't done anything to wrong you. I simply want to make our life together a bit more comfortable. Having some warmth to this frigid relationship we have. That's the only reason I want to find out more about you. I must assume I'm right then, Giselle. I must tell me he's wrong. I must tell him I mean no harm. I can't say anything. A merchant's daughter became an Abigail in a noble house. Could you come up with a more obvious lie? Your father's the one who... Wait. How does he know that I'm from a merchant family? You look perplexed. I may be imprisoned in the house, but not free to move about as I please. I have my ways. I know everything. Everything. He knows about that too. Oh yes, I do know. Well, you certainly can read mine, so why can't you read hers now, you fuckhead? Don't. In your quest for money, don't say it. You slept with my father. Well, I was thinking something along those lines. In that moment, Michelle plunged a knife into my heart. He carved through my chest with those words, causing me to completely lose control of myself. In a panicked frenzy, and probably screaming all the way, I knocked the man aside, and ran, and ran, and ran. I hear a clap of thunder in the distance. Oh, how I wished a bolt of lightning would come crashing down upon me. Maybe if God burned my tainted flesh with divine thunderbolt, it would get rid of some of the filth. The jagged streaks of light cascading across the dark clouds did not strike me, only creating restless grumbles in the sky. Why? I knew that if I fled out that mansion, I'd like to be causing trouble for my mom and sister. I was helpless to stop myself. All I could do was run from all that threatened me with no regard for the consequences. Before long, small droplets of rain began falling. It soon grew heavy enough to penetrate the forest canopy and reach the ground where I stood. The downpour drowned out my tears and my cries. Because I had brushed out from the mansion without even putting on a cloak, each cold winter droplet stung bitterly against my flesh. But the bite of the rain was like a warm embrace compared to what I had been through before. Michelle had spoken the truth. As much as they wanted to deny it, to avert my eyes, reality was forever engraved in this body. No, I don't want to think about it. Like, if it wasn't forced, then, like... If, like, just given the benefit of the doubt, if it wasn't forced, like, she did that to actually make sure that her mom and sister were flying comfortably from the dad? But then, if it, like, yeah, if it was, like, forced upon her, then, it makes sense the mom would, the mother of the estate, honestly, would, push her out here along with, the cursed son, honestly, so both of them would be forgotten and no one would know about anymore. And then him and his isolation from 10 years to take, like, whatever happened to him, her as what was it, like, that whole thing, like, ruined the family, honestly. Something tells me, though, from the sound of the letter, honestly, if it was, he forced himself on her, then the mom didn't frame it that way in the letter. No, I don't want to think about it. But I had no say in the matter. Get out of my head! Oh god. Oh god. We're literally being seen the... Oh god. Come over here, Giselle. Okay. May I ask why you asked me here so late at night, Master? No, I just want to have a little chat. Nope, it is definitely forced. Care for some wine? Come closer and I'll pour you a glass. The music is not helping at all. I had this wine poured from up north. They use very hard water, and like it rather tart, so it leaves quite the lasting impression on your tongue. And yet it goes down so easily, you just can't seem to stop. I'm imagining this is drugged. What do you say? Have a sip. Or does your expertise as a trader allow you to evaluate a wine's quality without tasting it? No, but, please, Giselle, don't trample over my good graces. Very well, then. I will have a sip, Master, but no more. Have you ever considered growing out your hair? Having long hair made it difficult to do my job. You're not a merchant anymore, though. You sort of look like a woman you truly are. I have no doubt longer hair would accentuate your natural beauty. It's a gorgeous shade of black. So deep a man could get lost in it for years. It would contrast the color of your skin fabulously. Highlight your eyes, your cheekbones, your nape, your shoulders, your chest. I should get going. But we're not done talking yet. I would not want to lack of sleep to interfere with my ability to work tomorrow. Thank you so much for the wine. It was delicious. No need to be so cold-hearted now. The moment I first laid eyes on you, Master! That's enough fooling around for one night. Now, don't be afraid. I won't do anything to hurt you. No, you do. I simply want to express my love. Let go of me! I only came to work, nothing more. The first time I saw you, I thought it would be a tragic waste to leave you to wither away working at some little street side shop. Yeah, your mom did not say all this in the letter, you fuck. Stop! You can't tell me you didn't know a merchant girl had no place in a house like this, even as a servant. There's only one reason you'll be allowed here. No, I swear it never even crossed my mind. Would seem you're even more innocent than you look. But you forget all about it now, haven't you? No, let go of me! Stop this! Keep your voice down. Do not shout, Giselle. If anyone were to find out about this, you will be the one showing the consequences, not me. Yeah, I can totally buy that in these times, too. But you're a maid, and the master of the house. Whose word do you think holds more weight? Don't worry. I won't do anything to hurt you. I promise your family will be exceptionally well taken care of. Your mother will have the comfortable life you wanted for her. But you know what will happen. You raise a fuss and make a fool of yourself. Not only will your family not get any of your money, not only will your sister not get to marry, you'll all spend the rest of your lives in the streets. How could you be so cruel? This is blackmail! Blackmail? For merchant's daughter, you don't know much about trade, do you? Oh god. Let me give a lesson about market value. The goods you're after to sell are not cheap. Understand? Now let me see that body of yours. He was an older man, so I hadn't expected him to be very strong. I couldn't break free of his grip, and I found myself entirely at his mercy. Beneath the gaudy outfits lay a hungry beast, and I was seeing the creature's true colors for the first time that day. The aging man ran his disgusting, slobbery tongue across my exposed skin. Everything he placed his hands upon withered away. Every piece of flesh he pressed his lips against putrefied, rotted, decayed, rankled. I trembled in revulsion, at which the man laughed, seemingly interpreting it as something else. I wonder what kind of place hell was. If hell's wardens only flayed and carved their prisoners, I would prefer that instead. I would have rather been sliced my tiny little chunks and cast into the hellfire. I would have chosen eternal torment over being touched by this man another second. I didn't get to choose my hell. Eventually, the man forced open the gates I'd been holding fast, and spread his festering death inside me. Listen to me, Giselle. It's in both our best interest to keep this between the two of us. If you can do that, I'll continue to do good by you, and your family. How often did this happen before the secret's revealed, quote-unquote? Oh, don't look at me like that, please. I'm thrilled to have you here in this house, Giselle. She has long since lost her mind, after all. Oh, it's torture just being in the same room. My sons, I hardly ever come home. But you, Giselle, you give color to my dull life. You make it exciting once again. For all the wrong reasons. Now, go on back to your room. I'll be waiting here at the same time, next week. I couldn't escape from that man's grasp. Not when he used my family against me. Some weeks, I would just not go to his chambers. My one feeble means of resistance. But when I did that, he would send another Abigail to come find me the next day. I couldn't ignore summons when he got other people involved. And then, when the two of us were alone, the mask would come off. And he would discipline me for not showing up before taking care of his usual business. On good days, he would leave bruises in inconspicuous places. My abdomen, my inner thighs. He went as far as carving a word into my skin with a knife. Harlot. That was why I was afraid of knives. That was why I was afraid of men shouting. I wasn't even sure what to regret anymore. I was in far too deep. There was no turning back the clock. I even considered taking my own life on more than one occasion. But every time the thought crossed my mind, heavy memories came with it. Back when it was just the three of us girls in the shop. Life may not have been easy, but it was never dull either. I didn't want to end my life at its absolute lowest point. I wanted, if just temporarily, to go back to the way things were back then. That objective was the only thing that allowed me to keep going. When I was in his presence, I tried to convince myself I was merely an object. I had no emotions, so he couldn't hurt me. I was merely a vessel. A construct of flesh and bones. His hands couldn't reach my heart. Her was not connected to my body. Doing that made it a little easier to bear. The reality was, it was impossible to completely sever my heart from my body. Lighty, oh my god, it's one of the maids, honestly. Like, honestly, just, like, thinking back onto it, like, on everything, like, my first thought was, like, it makes it complicated, honestly, like, with the whole thing of she wants to make sure her mom and sister, like, are still fine, even after everything's happened. She's been forced out here with, Michelle, honestly. And my very first thought, honestly, was, like, if she got the nerve, honestly, would just start screaming at him. Or just, it would be, like, the first thing I would do, honestly. Like, just scream, just say everything, even if I was gonna die. And just give him as much pain as I could back. Even if only verbally. Because if I can't attack him physically, because then the mom and sister are gonna be like that, like my family, then that would probably be the next best thing. It's almost kind of like shown already that they want to keep him secret from everything else, so or literally she just does the same thing that his dad did. Leave bruises in all the best places, like, that's something more inconspicuous, honestly. Oh god. It's a terrible thing to think about, honestly. Mostly just stab beneath the cloak or something like that. Or, like, he would just show it off anyway. What am I even thinking about? I'm mostly trying to think of, like, poetic justice stuff right now. God damn it. One day, the mistress of the estate stopped me in the halls. Oh, that's her name. Oh, god. She had supposedly been once quite beautiful. Now she was only haggard and bony. Her skin dry, her eyes sunken, her hair faded in search of its luster, her head down, her cracked lips barely moving as she spoke. Age didn't appear to be the only thing working its merciless magic on her either. There seemed to be something eating away at her from the inside too. Something that could burst the lightest touch. Yes, I'm Giselle. Is something I can do for you? The mistress rarely ever left her chambers. I had been told it had been years since she attended a family supper. So what would bring her to come looking for someone like me? Not you. What? I wasn't sure I wanted to know the answer. You're having relations with my husband, aren't you? I have no idea what I would say. You are, aren't you? But damn. You wretched creature! She was telling me the truth! One of my trusty maids caught a glimpse of you through a crack in the door. She saw you with him, you filthy rat! And I can definitely buy this because, like, what was it? It's, I guess trying to be more trusted, honestly, in the system, so rat someone else out to be more, a higher position. I can definitely buy that. You seduced my husband! You devil! You conniving witch! Or, they only saw the act itself and nothing else, honestly, so, You don't get it, do you? You don't realize how grievous your sin is, do you? Someone, anyone, restrain this girl. She's a demon, a devil. Tie her up and hand her over to the clergy. No, that'll be enough. A witch. To burn her bones, scatter the ashes, or she'll just come back to life. Yes, execute her. Kill this woman. Burn the witch. She's the piece she's stolen from me. Cursed. It's cursed. I can't tell if this is really just a normal reaction or she's overreacting way too much. If she hasn't left her room in years. I cannot even tell anymore. I cannot even tell. This house is cursed. Let's take away my daughter. Now trying to take away my Oh, fuck you. Oh God, please shine thy cleansing light upon this house. I knew it would be a waste of breath trying to talk to her. She was not a sound mind. My only question is why Michelle decided to keep, honestly, that painting. Why didn't he burn it? Or, like, tore in half? Oh, God. Wait, then who is... No, oh my God. Now, my next question is, honestly, who was the sick, sadistic person who decided to give, like, those paintings, honestly? If they were giving him paintings, honestly, of, like, before he decided to, like, you know, transitioned, honestly, if he is trans, honestly, then, like... Oh my God, Jesus Christ. I could totally just imagine that back then of really just a whole thing of, like, you can come back if you stop this whole nonsense kind of thing. I can definitely imagine that being, like, what they think about back then. I could totally and definitely see that back then. But... I feel it's another thing of psychological warfare to add another painting that's only a landscape this time to momentarily think it's another portrait of him. God! Jesus Christ, fuck these people. She was not a sound mind. There was madness in her eyes. Didn't even have to make a fuss about it. It happened all on its own. If there was no way around it, I should have just done it myself after the first time. I didn't have the energy to argue with her, or to cry, or to shout. My next question is why Michelle, like, why does he care about his own family legacy so much, honestly, to do this? The fuck even is it meant to be after, like, he decided to isolate himself, or he was forced to isolate himself here for over 10 years, honestly. Like, what's the point? What's the point? Before long, a crowd began to form around me and the sobbing mistress, and in it stood him. I assumed he would just stand back and watch, but much to my surprise, he stepped in. With an embarrassed look on his face, to try to settle his wife down and convince her not to have me executed. Maybe he did have a heart after all. That's a bare minimum. Maybe just want to save face. Yeah. Regardless, instead of being burned at the stake, it was decided that it would be sent away to some remote forest. One of the previous Bollinger family heads had purchased a mansion there long ago, but had been abandoned because of the stories people told about it. They said a cursed witch dwelled in the house. She returned to life after being executed, and now skulked about in the darkness. It was a perfect place to banish a sinner. And so, accused of adultery, I was in a carriage on my way out of the capital the next day. I hope my mom and sister are alright. The two of them will believe in me, if no one else does. The wooden wheels turned, carrying me away to that cursed mansion. Just a silent coachman and a single sullied passenger. Looking out through the window, I can see the city walls slowly fading to the distance behind us. I doubt I would ever set foot in this land again. Ever cross the Grand Pont again. A saddening reality, but at the same time, I felt a surge of relief. I had finally escaped from that house. I had finally escaped from that man. The sense of freedom slightly lessened the weight of everything else I was feeling. You know, actually thinking about it, that makes the whole death touch that she made in the falsified door make a whole lot more sense now symbolically. Holy shit. Oh god. That makes... Ugh. That's like a more romanticized version of that. Oh god. Hmm. A good while after we left the capital, the coachman handed me a letter. The sheet of parchment was a rather startling revelation. There was someone else already living in the mansion where I was to reside. The Bollinger's child. I like how this letter is now literally just not foregoing a gender in here. But the letter didn't say why I'd been sent to the cursed mansion, or only that he was there. Beyond that, the letter only made a single request. That I look after him and not ask any questions. So I'm not just being sent off to the middle of nowhere. I still have work to do. If I look after whoever's in the mansion, then to do the same for my family? I don't have much say in the matter either way, I suppose. Plus, also, by the way, his, I guess, attitude towards it didn't even help at all, because again, the whole thing of, like, we're not equals, honestly, the whole thing, definitely is reminiscent of just the whole master-servant thing of, like, no one's gonna believe you, the whole thing. Even then, he's still kind of nobility, honestly. In a sense. God damn it. The carriage rattled and shook as it traversed the stony path, and bouncing around inside it, I resolved to take back my life. The peace I'd once known, the cheerfulness I'd lost, and to do so I'd forget, lock away my memories. You know, this is probably one of the times, honestly, I do think it's, fine, honestly, to, like, it's to kind of forget. This is, like, one of those moments, honestly, for truth and lies, like, the whole metaphor, honestly, for, like, telling the absolute truth of everything, it falls apart, honestly. This is why lying is a thing. Like, I don't think you would ever want to keep reliving the same exact trauma over and over again. Hey, tell your truth. Yeah. It's a whole different thing accepting it and, like, trying to move on from it, but, oh god. Bury every terrible thing that happened to me. Cast aside those memories and find my smile once more. I have no idea who I'm gonna find there. They couldn't possibly do anything worse to me. I'll greet them with a smile, and do my best to build up a decent relationship with them. I figured, since the both of us had been banished to the same cursed mansion, there'd probably be other things we had in common. And so, I would forget it all, and get my life back. Get my smile back. And that was everything that led me up to arrive in the mansion. All the wounds I never wanted to open again. I didn't want to think about that. I'm trying so hard to forget about it. I wanted to forget all about it. So why? Why did you have to make me remember? All I did was believe. Believe that we could make things work. Why? How could you? God, I can't take it anymore. Ah, dear God. Once the memories had broken free, they all flooded back with perfect clarity. Exactly how he ran his hands across me. Exactly where he hit me, where he cut me. Like I was going through it again this very moment. The rain was cooling me down the outside, but so much nauseating heat had built up in my gut. I vomited all over the ground. I threw up, and I threw up, and I threw up until there was nothing left but bile. When I had nothing left to expel, the strength evacuated from my knees, and I collapsed. I didn't know if everything was blurry because of the rain, because my eyes decided they were done looking at anything. The whole world twisted before me. Oh, dear God. Michelle's no different. My attempts to get close to him to always keep a smile on. It was all a waste. The look in his eyes is terrifying. Like he didn't believe anything at all. So he probably wouldn't have believed me if I told him the truth. If he's convinced I have an ulterior motive, there's probably no changing his mind. Yay, there's that idea and theming coming up again. Such a cold rain. If I lie down here and go to sleep, I wonder if all the warmth will eventually drain from my body. Then I'll decompose and become part of the earth. You know, that might actually be nice. I like that. I always thought I didn't want to die. I wanted to go back to the way things were. But who cares anymore? I did my best here after all. That still got me nowhere. Cheerful to sell was all just a farce. And when I'm dead, all my worry for my mom and sister will fade away with me. Oh God. I die of a place for me on high. I am, after all, an unclean woman. If any religion has that sort of thing, they should go fuck themselves for that. I've given up on living altogether. But even if I can't get into heaven, that's okay. I want release. The rain pitter-pattered down through the leaves overhead, chilling my skin. The cold spread through my flesh and into my bones, my heart and lungs and stomach, freezing me like a block of ice. My consciousness drifted away from me, and the world slipped through my fingers. More than fear, I felt relief. Utter black. And that, I was sure, was the end of me. We're back here, okay. And that, I'm sure, was the end of me. God damn it. I am, even now, putting her through a harrowing experience. Yeah. Digging the memories she locked away, the past she wanted to pretend never happened. And laying it all out before her once more. But I must get her back to who she once was. Even if it means forcing her to endure this. She must remember everything. Because because you need to know. Why did she become the maid? And what secrets does this house hold? You're Michelle. Yes, my name is Michelle. Okay, wow. I am not the white-haired girl. The person you were searching for was the man who once hurt you deeply. Me. Okay, and so why are you coming through to here then? Why are both of you cursed to do all this? And again, I'm still confused on exactly why I'm, if just, like, why it was just, like, Giselle honestly forced to, like, go, if, like, it was a whole thing of generation or reincarnation, something like that, why then is it a whole entire, like, tale, honestly, of him, her, like, being born with white hair, honestly? Is it literally just turned into a story, like, if, like, Michelle really is trans, like, if, was Michelle even any part of the other doors, honestly? Because then, like, why was Michelle even, like, no, why is Giselle, sorry, like, born to look like the white-haired girl? Or is the twist even that after all the doors I've seen through, like, both Michelle and Giselle here were never really a part of them? I'm still really confused about the whole black-haired Giselle and, you know, white-haired girl, honestly. If I'm, was it only literally just after seeing all these doors, honestly, they were all different people, like, truly, honestly. They'd actually be entirely different thing entirely, actually, if, the white-haired girl for each story was not even just, like, some supernatural cursed thing. There's just someone who looks just exactly like her, somewhat similar to her in every single door. That'd be too coincidental, but, if that is the case, that'd just be funny, just the sheer, subversion of it. But I don't think that is it. I still don't quite understand that whole distinction, though. Why? What was her why referring to? Why I hurt her? Or why I'm here? Or maybe the third why here actually you're not considering maybe is why are you forcing me to go through all this? Because again, like before like learning all this, like well, I mean, I guess like it's fine if like you know what happened, etc. But like just forcing her to go through all these memories, honestly, when obviously it was the worst time of her life, honestly, Jesus. Like, but no, I have to know exactly what's going on in this mansion. I have to know. Honestly, just that seeing the last, like, entire last story of Michelle, like, how he really was, honestly, back to negative impressions, like, something similar to happen, beginning of Jacopo's thing. Although, it still carried over till now. Eh, eh. Or perhaps, yes, you're getting there, the third option. Why didn't show up until now? Oh, shut up, you. Not having an answer for her, I clench her cold hands in mine. I wonder, were her hands this cold that night too? Like, honestly, just thinking about it back now, no matter, like, for what reason, honestly, after all of that, like, I still don't understand why he decided to, oh, you're here to ruin my whole family legacy, even though, from the sound of it, like, if my, I guess, theory is right, then, like, they kind of cast him away into the house and decided to just stay in there forever to be isolated. Why does he care about his family? Why does he care at all? And then to kill someone just because of that, I don't quite understand. Is it literally just because of all, like, of back then, the legacy thing all over again? The thing that keeps coming up and the thing I hate, honestly? It just drives me up the wall so many times. It just goes again to pride. Ah. Ah! More screaming. There's still more we need to see, though. Yes, let's put this poor girl through even more torment, honestly. Uh, like, what do you expect there to be more, honestly? Like, you could just ask her, like, after she died, like, if anything else happened, or if, like, Giselle honestly is the same girl, or, like, again, like, again, if, like, the whole thing is right, like, literally Giselle was meant to look like how you were before you transitioned, then, like, again, what is this weird, almost kind of torment, honestly? If, like, especially if you weren't in the last doors, honestly, the first three. I don't quite understand. But I will say that she must know, like, some avenues of, like, what's happening with the house, I guess, in some capacity, because she made an entirely fake door and fake memories to show off, so I guess there's that. It kind of raises doubt of what happened in the other doors, honestly, I guess, in a similar manner, because we now know she has, the capability to toy mess with them, honestly. And it's still too soon for me to apologize. What the fuck you mean it's too soon? What do you mean by that? You're gonna apologize after everything is said and done with? Oh, after she's let go of her usefulness? Okay, then wow. Wow, dude. Wow. I don't know if you got crucified in that same exact door, honestly, when you're being isolationist in your own home, or another reincarnated version of yourself, but if it was the same entire house thing, then I'm kind of a bit glad, honestly. Jesus God. Uh, when she's gotten everything back, only then can I. Wow. When she's reclaimed herself, that is when I must tell her. Oh, wow, tell her what? That you love her? God. I'm glad it didn't, like, end with, like, lovey-dovey shit. I swear to God, if the game ends with, like, just that whole thing over again, oh my God, please. Please don't. Oh my good God, after all of that, holy shit. No, please don't. Now, let's return to our past. For what? Our story has only just begun. No matter what we thought, or what we deserved, or desired, no matter what we lost, or how much we suffered, we must not shut this door. I mean, isn't it already shut? You just opened again? Okay, we're gonna lead Giselle by the hand this time. Yay, against her will. I can already imagine the permanent frown and scowl on her face the rest of the story. Yay. Perfect darkness embraces us once more. I can see nothing, not even the one beside me. but I shall not let go of her hand. Yay, parallels. Technically, it's narrative callbacks. I did not want her to slip away from me. I do not want to lose her. Oh, it's still the same door. Yay. What? Oh, she's not dead. Okay, then. I was wondering, but you decided to pull back and just make it seem like she actually died. I swear to God. Stay with me. Are you alright? Is this the guy who lives in the shack a bit away from the manor? Oh, thank goodness you're awake. How's your head? Can you see me? Just tried to flash on your eyes. I'm a doctor. Just blinds her momentarily. What? Oh, you had me scared silly there. I thought I might have lost you for good. How deep did he plunge the knife into the heart? Did it lead only to the surface level of the chest? My God. I'm really glad you're alive. Where am I? Who is this man? What was I doing? You filling up for any food? I can whip up some porridge for you right quick. Oh, I was in the forest. It was raining. Before that, I was at the mansion. Oh, I feel sick. Like there's something still in my stomach. No, thank you. I don't want anything. You really should have something. You need to keep up your energy. Unless you want to conk out again in an hour. Conk out. People need to use that word more often. It's fun to use. Sounds good to me. Sleeps immediately. I'd rather would never wake up at all. You're not in the highest of spirits either, it seems. All the more reason to get something warm in you. Please, have something. I got some milk in the fire. Just make some good old stew and soup. I bet you can handle a cup of that. You start losing all hope once the cold gets that deep in you. Reaches down to your core. Take me my word, please. Just one sip. Have you had hypothermia before, dude? You feel like a whole new gal. A heart-wrenchingly pleasant aroma wafted up with a steam from the within the wooden cup. Succumbing to the sweet smell, I lifted the cup to my lips for just one sip and burned myself. I just drank it straight out of the pot. And the warmth that spread through me brought tears to my eyes. Perhaps there really was kindness in the world. A ripple spread across the surface of the milk. I heard a gentle sigh coming from the man beside me. And to which he said with a smile, "You should take it easy for the day." I had lost the willpower to think about anything. I didn't care what happened to me or why I was here, who he was, or even where this was. I spent the whole day in bed, just watching the sun slowly slide across the wooden floor. It felt like I was somewhere far, far away. Ah, you're just associating. Well, after reliving all that again, I don't really blame you. God. At times, I felt like a lost child. And at times, like a sickly old woman on her deathbed. Watching the sun travel gave me a renewed awareness of the passage of time. And the fact that each moment that went by was another moment I was alive. I realized, then, that it might have been a while since I'd gotten more than a brief glimpse of any sunlight. It almost surprised me how colorful the world seemed beneath the sun's light. Something I didn't get much of in the dark mansion. Only after losing something do you realize how much you need it. Warm milk, the light shining through the window, and a bed that smelled like springtime. With those three things, my heart slowly began to defrost. And I started to regain the willpower to stand on my own 2 feet. Thank you for everything. You're sure you need shit to be on your feet? Yes, I'm fine. I'm not hurt. You looked pretty beat up to me. What, the giant gash in her goddamn chest doesn't do anything? Or what? Did Michonne not even stab her? Or what? But you look a lot better now. And you're talking a lot more clearly than before. You've been very generous, despite having never met me before. and for that you have my deepest gratitude. Without your help, I would be no longer be in this world. No, I don't deserve your thanks. You're alive now because God's guidance made it so. God. I came across here this morning, so I was heading into the forest to hunt. Imagine my surprise seeing a young lady like you on the ground in my path. What were you doing in the forest? Oh, you don't have to tell me if you'd rather not. Everyone's got their own share of personal problems. You're not going to demand I talk? Unlike some people. I have no reason to force you to do anything. You look like you've been through hell and back. But I could tell just by looking at you. Now then, do you have somewhere you can go? Somewhere to go? Of course I don't. I can't go back to the capital or the mansion. If not, then why don't you stay here? Here? Sure. It's a small village. Oh, is this not even the same guy? This is literally just someone, like, oh, okay then. Well, that's way better, honestly. We're self-sufficient, and we all help each other out. No tax-hungry lords know we build a place up either, so we keep everything we make. We're pretty remote as a result. The harvest isn't fantastic here, but I'm sure you'll find it comfortable here. The rest of the villagers would be glad to have you. What do you say? Sorry, Mom. What I do might make the rest of the family's lives more difficult, but I don't want to feel any more pain. If I really wouldn't be inconveniencing you, if it's really okay, then yes. I'll let it stay here. That's great to hear. I was loath to send you back out there in your current condition. I haven't introduced myself yet, have I? My name's Amande. Just one lowly villager of many. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know sometimes how to pronounce the accented letters. Amende. I'm Giselle. Giselle, that's a beautiful name. If I'm mistaken, there should be a vacant house somewhere nearby. Clean it up and you can call it home. I couldn't possibly ask for that. I doubt others would like it if I just took a house for myself. Yeah, that shouldn't be an issue. I'm the village's representative, more or less. The mayor. Representative? Like the chief? Only in name, though. As I mentioned, we're not any lord's maps, so I don't have much representing to do. Unofficial leader. The only reason I ended up in charge is because I'm a bit more educated than anyone else. It was a long time ago, but I understudied with a priest. Did you change your name, perhaps? Because I'm familiar with the Bible's teachings. So rather than a chief, the people of the village look at me more like a priest. Won't be much fun if the church found out about that. They're likely liable to think I'm acting unordained. Then you believe in God? That's quite the question. Well, of course God exists. He's always watching over us. That's why you survived, because he protected you. I understand your faith can waver when you're going through times of tribulation, but those are the times when it's most important to keep sight of who you are. Right. Now, you get some rest. Tomorrow I'll show you around the village. Thank you. I truly mean it. I really sincerely appreciate everything. Oh, don't mention it, Giselle. This is your village now, too, so you don't need to act like a stranger anymore. Okay. So he's Monday. He seems like a nice man. Maybe here I can live in peace. It'll be alright, I'm sure. Yeah. I wasn't silly enough to believe my life would be perfect. But I found a tiny fragment of my lost hope. Well, I had once been ready to give up on absolutely everything. I was trying to feel like I might be able to smile again, eventually. Like I might be able to get back on my feet. In order to do that, I had to catch sight of my past once more. Forget everything that happened in the Bollinger estate, everything that happened in the mansion. Forget about Michelle. There was one niggling curiosity, though, that I couldn't shake. Something he said before I left. My very existence threatens to tear down that house. The cursing son of the Bollinger family. Michelle, who made a pact with the devil. Who is supposed to be dead but is very much alive. That part I don't quite understand. The dead but still alive part. That's the one thing I don't understand. Everything of a kind of a grasp and everything else, though. What do you meant by that? Well, apparently he his old self died and he came back alive anew. Maybe it sounds like he can be pretty dramatic. Why would people think he was dead? Maybe not in that sense, but maybe like dead to the family, I guess. No, I don't care about Michelle one bit. Forget it. Forget everything. Oh, hi, Michelle. How do you feel about doing everything? How do you feel about being isolated again? You kinda deserve it now. Hey. The house was, as always been, wrapped in a thick silence. Michelle's shadow, which had been lurking in the halls for about a month, was nowhere to be found. She hadn't come back since running off that day. My secret was still safe. Her efforts had, in the end, all been for naught. That's the way things were. So I don't mind telling me that I was for the best. I felt a kind of guilt seething in the back of my chest. Oh, you fucking should. Any attempts to figure out why only made me feel worse. The look in her face, then. Please, hear me out. I didn't know anything about you. I wasn't sniffing around or trying to bring you harm anyway. It's kind of funny that I'm up for the sound of it. Even the mom didn't even exactly say, no, not. So what was it like? He just read from the mom's note that oh, that girl slept with your dad, and is like didn't decide to tell anything else. Like we decided to send her to this house. Honestly, they didn't say anything else. Wow, wow. Was that really just her putting an act on because I revealed her scheming? She was screaming, though. Okay, wow. 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 Great deductive reasoning there. Wow. A knife pointed at her. Wow. I can't believe she was screaming. And she looked genuinely terrified when she knocked my hand away. I'm not falling for anything. Oh, well, you already fell hard into the goddamn earth years ago, apparently, if you're like this. I feel like I know that frenzied panic. Wow. This doesn't add up. Wow. Be quiet. Silence, please. My head was pounding beyond belief. You can't handle the guilt! I couldn't stand anything. This world, the creature I was, the witches whispering. Okay, it feels like every passing moment, my suspicions just get even more and more confirmed, honestly. The Archangel looking down upon me seemed to be cackling from somewhere far out of reach. So for whatever it was worth, to escape from his gaze, I once again drew the drapes of the stained glass window.